Sa panahon ng mabilis na impormasyon at kaliwat kanang balita, kailangan mo ng isang channel na mapagkakatiwalaan, diretsyo at para sa bayan. Ito ang Balitang Pambansa, ang iyong bagong tahanan ng mainit na issue, tunay na impormasyon at mga balitang hindi mo dapat palampasin. Mula sa mga trending na kaganapan sa social media hanggang sa mga seryosong isyong pambansa. Bantay kami sa bawat sulok ng bansa para sa iyo. Hindi lang basta chismis, kundi validated news, mga impormasyon na may batayan at mga kwento ng tunay na buhay Pilipino. At kung gusto mong laging nauuna sa kaalaman, huwag kalimutang mag-like, mag-share at higit sa lahat, mag-subscribe. Dahil sa Balitang Pambansa, balita mo, boses mo, bayan natin ito.
Honorable na meron lang nakagalagay na gano'n. Pero ito, talagang Ferdinand Martin Gomez Romualdez. Kaano-ano niya ho itong si Richard Gomez? Kaya ba'y binoto ka niya dahil kamag-anak mo siya, gano'n? Pero pakinggan nun natin ito si Tamba. Tams, pasok!
With full respect to the Constitution, in defense of institutional balance, and in the name of the Filipino people, the House of Representatives has filed a motion for reconsideration before the Supreme Court. This is not an act of defiance. It is an act of duty. We do not challenge the authority of the court. We seek only to preserve the rightful role of the House, the voice of the people, in the process of accountability. Let us be clear. The Constitution says the House of Representatives shall have the exclusive power to initiate all cases of impeachment. That power is not shared, not subject to pre-approval, and not conditional. Yet, in GR number 278353, the Supreme Court ruled otherwise, based on a misreading of facts and a retroactive imposition of the new rules. On February 5, 2025, the House transmitted the fourth impeachment complaint, filed and signed by 215 members, to the Senate. Only after this transmittal did we archive the earlier three complaints. The sequence matters. It proves there was only one valid initiation, not four. Even the court's own precedent, Francisco versus House, supports
Nako.
this.
Ayan na naman. Yang Francisco versus House na yan. Yan na nga ho ba sinasabi natin? Tingnan natin. Tingnan natin kung ano magiging tugon ng Korte Suprema dyan sa MR nyo na yan, Martin Romualdez.
Only one impeachment can be initiated, and that initiation begins with a one-third endorsement or a referral. That is exactly what the House did. The court also said the Vice President was denied due process because she was not furnished a copy or given a chance to respond. But nowhere in the Constitution is that required before transmittal. In fact, in all past impeachments, the trial and the right to be heard take place in the Senate. To invent new rules now and apply them retroactively is not just unfair, it is constitutionally suspect. Let me say this with candor. A government of laws cannot allow any branch to become the judge.
Nako, matindi-tinding labanan na mangyayari ho dito mga kababayan. Sinasagasaan na ho nitong si Martin Romualdez ay ang Korte Suprema. Abangan ho natin ang mga susunod na kaganapan. Pero ang sigurado lang ho natin dito, ang motibasyon ni Martin Romualdez dyan sa mga galaw niya na yan, para sa 2028. Mantakin nyo, kaya ho nitong mama na to na magkaroon tayo ng constitutional crisis sa hindi pagkakasundo ng legislative at itong judiciary dahil sa kanilang kagustuhan ng impeachment na yan. Pwede pa naman nila maisampa sa February 2026. Kaya ang problema, Baka wala na akong maipapangakong ayuda o 150 million kung sino man ang magpapapirma dyan sa ihahain nilang impeachment na yan sa 2026. Better luck next time, Tamba.
Judge if its own account.
Tsaka tingin ko itong the way na i-deliver niya itong kanyang talumpati na to, itong kanyang mensahe na to, pagka napanood to ng Korte Suprema, maaano ho sila dito, mabubwisit ho sila sigurado.
Accountability. The Supreme Court is a co-equal branch of government. Its wisdom is deep, its authority is real. But its members, like the President and the Vice President, are also impeachable officers. When the court lays down rules for how it or others like it may be impeached, it puts itself in the dangerous position of writing conditions that may shield itself from future accountability. That is not how checks and balances work. We filed this motion for reconsideration not to provoke, but to protect. Not to assert supremacy, but to restore balances.
Lahat ng sinabi niya na yan, puro kabaliktaran ang nangyayari diyan sa paghahain nila ng motion for reconsideration. Wala akong pakialam tong mama na to. Magkagulo, magkaroon ng constitutional crisis dahil lamang dyan sa kagustuhan nila na ma-impeach itong si VP Sara. Wala akong siyang pakialam. Diyan sa mga litanya niya na yan, ang dating para talagang magkakasubukan tayo dito sa isa na to. Bakit kayo naglabas ng ganyang klaseng desisyon kaugnay dyan sa impeachment na yan? Diba? Yan ang datingan yan Ngayon, kung sakali magkaroon ng malawakang problema, papanigo tayo sa Korte Suprema. Kahit na hindi, itong pagdedesisyon ng Korte Suprema dito, hindi paborable sa Duterte o paborable sa Duterte, lagi tayong magsasay dyan sa Korte Suprema. Kasi kung hindi natin papaniwalaan yan, lahat ng ilinabasin ng desisyon, questionable na. Diba? Hindi tayo mga abogado. Karamihan naman nanonood dito sa problema na to, hindi abogado. Ngayon, kung itong isa na to, questionin natin, anong kasiguraduhin natin na yung mga susunod na ilalabas na desisyon ng Korte Suprema, hindi pwedeng questionin. Di ba, Martin Romualdez?
Because if impeachments can be blocked by misunderstood facts or rules made after the fact, then accountability is not upheld. It is denied. To dissent is not to defy. To demand accountability is not to destabilize. To insist on constitutional integrity is not to weaken democracy. It is to strengthen it. We speak.
Brad, tsaka kung talagang habol nyo dito accountability, gumagana naman akong ombudsman Noong nga minamadali ni Martires, sinasabi nyo, bakit yung minamadali? Doon talaga ang accountability dyan sa impeachment. Perpetual disqualification lang naman yan Sino magbebenepisyo? Taong bayan? Kung gusto nyo talagang panagutin si BP, punta kayo sa Sandigang Bayan. Punta kayo sa Ombudsman. Impeachment court. Ano ko? Wala akong doon. Wala akong yung sinasabi nila na na accountability. Wala Ano lang talaga dyan, kumbaga, para lang madisqualify habang buhay itong si VP Sara sa paghawak ng anumang elected government position.
Speak now, not because it is easy, but because it is necessary.
Okay, naiintindihan ko na. Ang pagsasalita na yan ni Martin Romualdez para matabunan ang napakalaking kargada na ibibitawan nitong si Congressman Isidro Ongab. Ano yun karapatan naman nila yan na talagang gusto nilang ma-impeach si VP Sara na maghain ng MR na dyan sa Korte Suprema. Pero ito sigurado dito, ang bibitawan dito nitong si Congressman Ongab, sigurado itong mga litanya na to ni Martin Romualdez, babaliktad ito lahat. Pakinggan natin itong si Congressman Isidro Ongab.
Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. Good evening na pala. I rise to avail of the privileged hour
Nako.
to address a matter
This is
of
it.
profound importance. One that affects us as members of Congress, our constituents, and most especially the future generations of Filipinos who will inherit the consequences of our decisions today. The 2026 National Expenditure Program, or NEP, will soon be submitted to Congress for deliberations. But beforehand, I ask your indulgence to first examine significant provisions of the 2025 General Appropriations Act
Nako,
as
yan
approved
na.
by Congress, particularly when compared to the 2025 original budget document submitted by the President. I believe that certain adjustments made to the budget raise serious legal questions and may be vulnerable to constitutional challenge. I would like to share these observations with you, my esteemed colleagues, as this will hopefully guide us in the approaching deliberations on the 2026 national budget. Distinguished members of this chamber, last January, I exposed a glaring anomaly in the ratified bicameral conference committee report on the 2025 General Appropriations Act, containing 28 blank items spanning 13 pages that were mysteriously filled in the enrolled bill and finally in the General Appropriations Act. I will present the full details of this controversy in a separate privilege speech. But today, I must draw your attention to another blatant irregularity in the 2025 budget that has escaped public scrutiny and was never openly deliberated by either the House or the Senate.
Nako.
I refer specifically to the automatic appropriations, which by their nature no longer require legislative enactment. My concern centers on the use of income in the general fund and the special accounts in the general fund. We are aware that the proposed 2025 National Expenditure Program, as proposed by the President to Congress way back in July 29, 2024, amounts to 6.352 trillion, which is sourced from program new appropriations of 4.247 trillion and automatic appropriations of 2.105 trillion. Can we request this slide?
Slide,
Projection.
yan. Yan, slide.
Wala bang PowerPoint? I think I have a
PowerPoint.
PowerPoint. But kung wala, ihabol na lang.
O yan, game. Hindi,
In
maganda. Ako mas gusto ko merong slide. Para yung mga figure talagang rumima. Ika nga, tumatak sa puso at kaisipan ng ating mga kababayan kung gaano kalaking pagnanakaw ang nangyayari dito sa bansa na to. Slides, please.
In addition, the President also proposed the amount of 158.67 billion in unprogrammed appropriations as standby authority to be released only when, number one, when revenue collections in any one of the identified non-tax revenue sources exceeds target as reflected in the budget of expenditures and sources of financing, or BASF. Number two, when new revenues from new tax and non-tax sources are collected, which are not part of or not included in the original revenue sources reflected in the BASF. Or three, approved loans for foreign assisted projects. In summary, the expenditure program of 6.352 trillion can be presented in a more detailed manner, taking into consideration the program and unprogrammed new appropriations and components of the automatic appropriations. Wala pa rin project point.
Project
PowerPoint.
point, project
So,
point.
kung wala pa rin,
PowerPoint. Ano ba naman yan? Ang mahal ng gastos natin sa IT dyan, ba't walang PowerPoint? Gusto namin makita yung figure. Ito talaga ang inaabangan na maghapon, hindi yung kay Abante, yung kay Abante sa susunod yun. Hindi yung kay Abante, hindi yung kay kung kani-kanino nagsalita dyan. Kung kay Kong Ungab, kasi ito talaga kaperahan ito. Tsaka dito, lalabas yung mga pagnanakaw na nangyayari sa budget na sambayan ng Pilipino.
let me proceed. Supposedly, may PowerPoint tayo. Yung new general appropriations, 4.405 trillion, composed of program appropriations of 4.2 trillion and program appropriations of 158 billion. Yung automatic appropriations is 2.1 trillion, and under the automatic appropriations are the retirement and life insurance premium, customs duties and taxes, the national tax allotment, interest tax on national government debts, BARM block grants, pension of ex-presidents and spouses, net lending, at under automatic appropriations, nandito nakasulat ang special accounts in the general fund in the amount of 27,352,123,000. Again, the program appropriations of 158 million billion yung submitted ng presidente. Again, for a total expenditure program of 6.352 trillion. With that as a background, Mr. Speaker, I will now go to the main issue, which I want to emphasize having a great impact on the total expenditure program. As I have said earlier, I will no longer discuss the items under the program and unprogrammed appropriations of the GAA, since it is the topic of another privileged speech, or my next privileged speech. But I will discuss now the special accounts in the general fund, which are sourced from earmark revenues of the government. What are earmark revenues? Earmark revenues are identified revenues required by statute to be used for designated activities, benefits, or purposes, and must be accounted for separately from the government's general revenues. For 2025, the earmark revenues amount to 1.202 trillion and is classified into two categories. Number one, use of income in the general fund for a total amount of 1.175 trillion and special accounts in the general fund of 27.352 billion. To differentiate the two categories, the use of income in the general fund refers to revenues that accrue to the general fund, which by virtue of statutes or enabling laws authorize agencies to use part of the income of the general fund for a specific program or project, which are generally included in the program portion of the General Appropriations Act, except when it is specifically provided by law that it is automatically appropriated, like the case of the national tax allotment and the BARM block grant. On the other hand, special
Maganda sana meron talagang ang tawag dito, merong PowerPoint.
Accounts.
PowerPoint.
On the other hand, special accounts in the general fund, as mentioned earlier, are funds whereby proceeds from specific revenue measures are earmarked by law for specific priority programs and projects and are automatically appropriated. The details of the earmarked revenues are shown in Table B.15 or B.15, specifically on pages 413 to 420 of the 2025 BESF or Budget of Expenditures and Sources of Financing. Supposedly summarized on the screen, so mahaba yan. On the use of income in the general fund, the amount of 1.175 trillion, while the special accounts in the general fund is the amount of 27.352 billion. How I wish we had a PowerPoint para madaling maintindihan. But let me continue. May I speak, Mr. Speaker, Madam Speaker, may I mention the legal basis or the enabling laws that authorizes the setting aside of portions of the general fund and proceeds of specific revenue measures to ensure the funding of the programs and projects being implemented by the recipient departments and agencies. As shown in Table B.15 of the 2025 BESF, dahil wala tayo dito, the Table B.15 of the BESF can be seen at the website of the DBM. Hanapin nyo lang yung BESF, makikita nyo doon, Table B.15. The earmarked revenues usually comes from collections of previous years at any specified period indicated in the enabling laws. Considering that these earmarked revenues are subjected to the annual programming of expenditures, some of the funds will accumulate huge balances at the end of the fiscal year. For purposes of my speech, I am showing only the earmarked revenues for 2025 and those with available balances as of December 31, 2023 as reflected in Table B.15 of the 2025 BESF. So, dahil wala tayong PowerPoint, I'll just refer you to the DBM website.
Ayaw ho ata talagang palusutin yung PowerPoint Kasi pagka ilinabas yung PowerPoint, mas ika nga merong mga figure na makikita yung ating mga kababayan No? Ano ho yan? Kumbaga strategiya ng House of Representatives. Ganyan ho nangyayaring babuyan dyan sa lugar na yan. No? Paulit-ulit. Asan yung PowerPoint? Pero pagka si Tamba, lahat kompleto reslikados. Pare-pares lang naman congressman yung mga yan. Nataon, yung si Martin Romualdez, hindi lang talaga makabitaw sa kapangyarihan. Kaya mapahanggang sa ngayon, siya parang speaker, di ba?
Now, I will focus my discussion.
Alam nyo, tayo excited na dumating doon sa punto na itong si Martin Romualdez, isa na lang siyang ordinaryong congressman. Sa bagay, huling term niya na ata yan So, talagang do or die na to, ika. Pagka hindi ka naging presidente sa 2028, Brad, malaki ang problema mo. Malaki-laki magiging problema mo, Brad, yan ang sinasabi ko.
On the special accounts in the general fund. What are special accounts, again, in the general fund? As part of the budgetary process, special accounts in the general fund and all the other automatic appropriations do not require any annual legislative action by Congress. However, any amendment or upward amendment to these accounts may directly or indirectly increase the total expenditure program submitted by the President to Congress. This could potentially violate the constitutional limitation on the appropriation of funds. To summarize, the special accounts in the general fund refers to the funds whereby proceeds from specific revenue measures are earmarked by law for specific priority programs and projects and forms part of the National Expenditure Program submitted by the President to Congress. SAGF are presented in the NEP or in the GAA in the form of special provisions which explicitly provides for the amount of program expenditures over and above the regular new appropriations of an agency. If the amounts in the special provisions are increased by Congress, there is a corresponding increase over and above the total expenditure program as submitted by the President to Congress. Throughout my 15 years of service in this House, the items classified under automatic appropriations have remained absolutely intact. These appropriations have been consistently recognized and respected by the House Committee on Appropriations, the Senate counterpart, and both chambers of Congress as legally mandated expenditures that are explicitly protected by their enabling laws. These automatic appropriations must not be subjected to alteration or amendment as they constitute non-discretionary obligations established by law. Their statutory protection ensures that these funds remain outside the purview of the annual appropriations process, preserving the legislative intent and maintaining the fiscal stability these mechanisms were designed to provide.
Grabe, napaka-laking iskandalo talaga to ng 2025 budget. Ang problema ho dito mga kababayan, bakit imposibleng hindi alam ho ni Marcos Jr. lahat na sinasabi na to ni Kong Ungab. Imposibleng pipirma ka sa isang dokumento na hindi nyo pinag-aralan, hindi nyo nakita na talaga napakaraming kung ano-ano pinaglalagay dyan, di ba? Ang problema dito, bakit pa rin ho pinirmahan itong si Marcos Jr.? Yan din ho ang katanungan ng ating mga kababayan. At hindi lang basta-basta pinirmahan. Talagang dinipensa ho niya yung budget na yan. Na kesyo, wala daw perfect na budget. Hindi na daw pwedeng ibalik sa BICAM. Kesyo, ika nga wala ng oras. Pwede pa, kaso pinagpilitan dahil yung mga pinagsisingit dyan, gusto rin ho niya.
However, for the first time in an unprecedented move, the 2025 budget reveals that the Bicameral Conference Committee has amended the automatic appropriations by making substantial upward adjustments in the special provisions of several agencies, with SAGF a staggering 12.75 billion increase that fundamentally undermines the protected status of automatic appropriations. This extraordinary breach has inflated the President's original submission from 27.352 billion to an unprecedented 40.107 billion, a shocking 47% increase that directly contravenes the statutory mandate of these appropriations. Such manipulations on the special accounts on general fund allocations set an extremely perilous precedent that threatens the very foundation of our budgetary framework and the rule of law that protects these funds from political interference. From the original proposal of 27.352 billion, the amount is raised to 40.107 billion. Madam Speaker, the BICAM adjustment of 12.75 billion will correspondingly increase the total expenditure program from 6.352 to 6.365 billion. Supposedly, meron tayong PowerPoint presentation. Wala. Based on my scrutiny,
Suko na ako. Ayaw nyo talaga ipakita yung PowerPoint ko, bahala kayo.
dahil wala tayong PowerPoint presentation, papakita ko lang at sasabihin ko na lang, babasahin ko na lang isa-isa.
Sige.
Based on my
Pagkakain na
scrutiny,
natin.
the BICAM made the following adjustments on the SAGF of the affected agencies. 1. ACF, Agricultural Competitive Enhancement Fund, dinagdagan ng 274 billion. Remedies Fund, ACF dinagdagan ng 274 million. Remedies Fund dinagdagan ng 28 million. Competitiveness Enhancement Measures Fund dinagdagan ng 1 billion. Fisheries Management Fund dinagdagan ng 13 million. Rewards and Incentives Fund dinagdagan ng 3.6 billion. Spectrum User Charge dinagdagan ng 5 billion. Fire Code Income dinagdagan ng 2.5 billion. Land Registration Fees and Collection dinagdagan ng 37 million. Other executive officers of the Dangerous Drugs Board dinagdagan ng 20.95 million.
Grabe, no? Dahil pinagsisisingit.
National Endowment for Culture and the Arts, dinagdagan ng 75 million. Philippine Space Agency, dinagdagan ng 126 million. Yung Coconut Development Fund and Coconut Consumer Stabilization Fund, dinagdagan ng 65 million. Total increase of 12,754,670,000 sa automatic appropriation. What are the legal and constitutional violations demanding immediate resolution? Madam Speaker, the following critical constitutional questions must be urgently addressed as they strike at the very heart of our democratic budgetary process and threaten the integrity of future national appropriations. First, constitutional infirmity. Has the Bicameral Conference Committee, by unilaterally increasing SAGF by 12.7 billion, rendered the entire 2025 expenditure program constitutionally defective? This unprecedented manipulation raises the specter of a fundamentally flawed budget that violates Article 6, Section 25, Paragraph 1 of the Constitution, which explicitly prohibits Congress from increasing the appropriations submitted by the President. Second, fundamental breach. The core constitutional question that demands immediate clarity. Does Congress, through the BICAM, possess any legal authority whatsoever to inflate SAGF amounts, special accounts in the general fund amounts, beyond the actual program expenditure supported by their earmarked sources or earmarked revenues? This appears to be a direct violation of the established principles that special accounts in the general fund are by their very nature limited to their earmarked revenues and cannot be arbitrarily expanded beyond their statutory limitations. These are not mere technicalities. They are fundamental breaches of our constitutional architecture that could render the entire budget process null and void. The gravity of these violations cannot be overstated, as they threaten to establish a dangerous precedent where